I am a bricklayer, and that is the pattern I have followed all my life. When I was studying, when I was in college, I studied commercial art and literature, studied modeling, became Miss India, took to acting, theatre, films, television, learned pottery, Ikebana, became a drama teacher, a special educator, a researcher. Marriage and children encouraged my ability to do different things at different times. I used the learning from one field in another. That's how I am. But one day I had a very rude awakening. That day was 9/11/2001. I was in New York, half an hour away from the Twin Towers when they collapsed. It was horrible. One tower and then another, right in front of my eyes. America was a war zone. No flights were allowed to land in America. All the borders were sealed. Even domestic flights were grounded. From my hotel room, I could see dust and debris rising like a tidal wave. People were running, clutching. Whatever they had in their hands, they were just running. Their soot-covered faces streaked with tears. But one appeal relentlessly returned to me, and that was, all institutions and offices will be closed tomorrow. However, all teachers, principals, and supervisors have to report to their schools. They have to meet to discuss how to help the children to deal with the trauma of today's incident. This explicates the role of mental health in our life. The mental health of our children need attention. WHO figures suggest that 1 in 5 children will suffer from emotional behavioral disorder at some time during their youth, irrespective of where they live or how well-to-do they are. This really scares me. And I thought, can I do something about this? But I'm just a teacher. And mental health professional, it's a different ballgame altogether. However, I learned, I'm good at learning. So I learned that one of the means to improve a child's mental health and prevent mental illness is life skill education. And I thought to myself, great, I can do something here. Here I am talking about early intervention and prevention of mental health. Super. I can do something. I can share the role of mental health professionals in an establishment where life skill education is, just the domain of the mental health professional. I, as a teacher, meet the children every day on a regular basis. I am the first one to see if there is any problem in the child. Now I'm going to tell you a story. Being an actress and a teacher, we're great at that. So, I'm going to tell you a story about a little girl called Sarla. She was 10 years old when I met her. Imagine a happy child, a huge smile on her face, a jumpy puppy who danced in rings around you. She went away for a little while, but the minute somebody came next to you, she'd come running and take her place. She was dyslexic, had a concentration problem, speech problem. She could not say sh, r properly. She was bad in school. The 3 R's were troublesome. She spoke in small sentences or incomplete sentences. Once I asked her, will you remember this, Sarla? She says, I always do. She had a tendency to cling. That was her low self-esteem and low self-confidence. I realized that immediately because she would never let anybody take her place next to me. She would fight it out. After a point, we just gave up and let her be near me. She did not have friends of her age group. All her friends were below her age group. Once, I gave them worksheets to do. She was the only child to ask for an eraser. So I asked her, why do you need an eraser? So she says, I think. You think? Why do you think? First you need to write. Then you can think of erasing. Why are you thinking of erasing before you even start? It can be that you won't give, she said nervously. Her exam papers were invariably left blank, in spite of knowing everything. The reason for that is she wasn't sure she's read the question right, so she just left it blank and came. And this used to really upset her parents because, you know, they used to say she knew everything and we can't believe it. It's, I think, her low self-confidence. She spoke in incomplete sentences. Once she said, little we have to do different. So I said, why? So she says, no catch, catch. Why we tell what we think. It's 10 years old, okay? In continuing the story, she suddenly says, twinkle, twinkle, little star. That was Sarla at 10 years. We worked for 2 years in life skill enhancement using drama. She changed from a girl with low confidence, self-doubting, into a confident girl. Her dyslexia is still there, but she's learned how to overcome the problem. In her board exams, 10th and 12th, she got 75 and 60%. Her parents are very proud of her because she's grown into a very beautiful young adult. Because she was good at drawing and she liked clothes, she took up fashion designing. 11 years later, I got a call from her and she says, ma'am, I want you to come to a fashion show where I'm showcasing my clothes with a very, very famous fashion designer. She made me sit in the first row and said, it was you who made the difference to me. Now I'm going to tell you about another little girl. That's Lali. She too I met when she was 10 years old, and she was in my drama class with another girl called Manini and boys too. I'd given them worksheets to do and to draw their parents, siblings, friends, teachers. And this is what she drew. Stick figures. Brother, father, all look feminine. And these are Manini's drawings. These are Kanha's drawings. Whereas developmentally, they should have been able to draw two-dimensional figures with arms and legs. This is one of their class friends, same age group. I was troubled. Would you not be troubled? And I said, you know what? These drawings are not age appropriate. A critical friend of mine said, age appropriate? Don't you think you're making a value statement? And I said, no. I'm asking what's going on here. Is there something I can do about it? Why am I worried? I was worried because I could see an internal conflict, some emotional problem. Well, you can ask me, how do I know about it? And I don't have an answer for it. All I can say is, sometimes we know more than we can say. What did I do about it? Nothing. I didn't know anything to do about it, so I just filed it away and continued my life skill enhancement class. In the life skill enhancement class, the children learned about understanding emotions, understanding self, empathy, effective communication skills. And there was a huge development in their socio-psychological health. There was a gain in their self-acceptance, self-expression, and acceptance of others. We can talk about her figures. She has a problem with her father. And she would always cling to her mother. She associated herself with her mother. And that is why all her figures were feminine. The stick figures suggest a low self-esteem. With a gain in life skills, she started empathizing with her father. And this is the drawing she did in the post-learning test. In the initial one, she had said, I cannot talk to my father. Now she can talk to her father. Look at the figure of her father. There is such a huge difference. She started empathizing with her father. Her relationship with her father changed. The mother told me that the daughter and father spend time together. They go for walks together. They go to restaurants together. They sit together and they tell each other stories, etc., etc. She's written one very nice thing when she says, I feel sad when my father is in tension. And I wish my father keeps smiling every time. This is not complete. You can see the 3 fingers and no feet. But her learning hasn't halted yet. It was just 2 years hence, so she would be 12 years old. She is still growing, still developing. And like she herself said, ma'am, feelings cannot stop, so we cannot stop learning. Now Manini, she too suffered from low self-esteem. She was awkward about her personality and the way she was. She had a troublesome relationship, a troublesome family relationship, and it's not surprising that she's drawn a full figure of her friend, but the people she had a troublesome relationship with, she's just drawn the face. Her father was such a faint drawing that I cannot scan it. Her brother, she did not even bother to draw. She was dyslexic too. In spite of being a very clever girl, she had this perceptual problem and a writing problem. So, it gave her great anxiety. It was reflected in her fear for failure. She invariably answered just enough to pass. In the orals, she got full marks, 30 on 30. 30% of it. Then she had to get the rest, 70. She answered only 20% of the paper, got 45%. And I said, why did you do that? She said, then neither you nor I will know how well I could have done if I tried. If I have to fail, I would rather say that I didn't try and that is why I failed. I would hate to fail if I tried. There was a huge difference in this girl, and which you can see in the creativity scale. She topped the marks in the oral exam. These are just 3 I talked about. There are many, many more. All of them I worked with using using drama to enhance their life skills. There was a huge gain in all the children's psychosocial health and psychological development. Many of the children I taught with suffered from emotional disorder, ranging from social adaptive malfunctioning to highly emotional distress. Now you see, stress is neutral. It is positive when a person is stimulated by it and can handle the situation. It is negative when it's threatening and the situation is out of our control. Negative stress leads to anxiety, loneliness, depression. It can affect our academic and job functioning, which can lead to vulnerability to drug and alcohol abuse. Because stress is a blow to the self-esteem. And self-esteem is a very important part of a coping mechanism. Like empowerment is. Empowerment is an important function in our coping mechanism. So I'm here to persuade non-artists on the values of drama in education. You know, drama isn't just play or entertainment. It can even be catharsis and healing. And thus, we can help children with mental health, cognitive, and developmental disorders. Let's break down the word drama in education. Drama, we use the Greek meaning for it. Living through. Not a play. We're using the word living through. Education is a change of understanding. So drama in education is about living through situations to gain a change of understanding. And this can lead to a lot of gain. And it's very effective in life skill education. Because in life skill education, we cannot afford to just use a debate or give information. Because expecting children to change their behavior through information only is, I think, very incorrect. It can lead to a lot of creativity and, you know, it's fun. And in a very safe environment of the class, we can learn to deal with troublesome situations. We can learn about various emotions which are just not possible to be even thought about. Like here, you can see they're dealing with death. You're dealing with death in the safety of the classroom. It can trigger personal growth and emotional health. We need to really, you know, free our children. We need to change the way we talk to them, the way we treat them. And they really need our help. So we need to empower them and awaken them. We need to help not only the girl child, but even the boy child, and make them resilient in this ever more diverse world. We need to set them free. We need to teach them imagination. We need to teach them how to reflect. We need to teach them empathy, effective communication skills, make them skilled problem solvers. Because time now and time then are present in time future, and time future in time past. Before I end, like in an African village, the storyteller puts his palm down and says, I place my story here so that somebody may take it up another day. Thank you very much.